Welcome to the After the Show movie podcast, brought to you by your hosts Ace Scully and Sid Talk. We're addicted to movies. Are you? Movies, Sid Talk.
Yes.
We're here to talk about movies.
Technically, we're here to talk about one movie, and if we sneak some others in, we might. This is not the before the after the show discussion. Oh, I just ran out of air on that one. You think I've talked enough in my life, and people will nod, that I know how to manage that air, but I don't. That is also not part of the before the after the show discussion. What was it? This movie?
Yes.
The weather. You made tea. You had some bread and you had toast. Just
yes.
Technically, does toast stop being bread?
Yeah, it's not bread anymore once you toast it. It's toast.
This is why we tell you what we discuss, so that you can be enlightened by our genius conversations.
Yes, and thank you very much, Sid Talk.
Right.
Thank you for your insight.
Always, as always.
Yes. All right, it is Saturday, April the 5th. This is After the Show, your weekly movie review podcast. And on episode 885, we're looking at the movie Opus. It's a 2025 release, out now on streaming, rated R. Its runtime is 1 hour and 44 minutes, and it's from the greatest studio ever, A24. Do I get a free t-shirt for keep saying that?
I don't think so. Did they say that they will give you any?
They did not, no. I really would like an A24 t-shirt.
Is that a request for your Christmas list this year? Okay, I got time then. Birthday will be in July. Well, okay.
Correct. All right. Yes, because I guess I'm a fanboy. Is that right?
If you're a fanboy, you'd already have one.
Yeah, that's true. Sid Talk, we just sat down and watched the movie Opus. And what did you think? Oh, no, not what did you think? I will ask you first for the synopsis.
What's wrong with you? You're losing your mind.
I thought we were further in than we were.
Synopsis is, I don't know. It's hard to...
Should I just give you the one off the box?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, here it is. A writer travels to the compound of a pop icon who disappeared years ago. Surrounded by his cult of sycophants, as well as a group of fellow journalists, she soon discovers his twisted plans for the gathering.
And sycophant's funny because...
Yes. It is funny. All right, Sito, what did you think of the movie Opus?
I enjoyed it very much. Now, it's not a perfect movie.
It
has
is not.
Things. However, I just really enjoyed... I was along for the ride today. Yet again, I was in the mood, and so it was all good.
All right, let me tell you what I thought, because I am an A24 fanboy.
You are.
And this one didn't work for me on all levels.
Okay.
I liked the first 40 minutes of it. I thought the setup was better than the payoff.
This is very specific.
Yes. The setup is better than the payoff is the best way to put it.
Isn't that the way of stories these days? I rewind, erase that or whatever you do.
Yeah. Let's talk about the setup. You explain the setup. I mean, there'll be spoilers here. We'll talk about this in full. Well,
a group of seemingly random people are invited by this very old, we're going to say, rewind again. Use a little whiteout on that one. So this guy was famous a long time ago. He was like, of cultish status as a pop star, apparently. He's been 30 years. He's putting out a new thing. He's invited this sort of mishmash of people that he knows or who know of him to come out to his compound to hear his new album.
Yes.
Right. So you have the setup that's very generic. We've seen it a bazillion times in stories. You have your ensemble cast, a mix of people coming together for some weird reason. And you said, as the bus started to take off out
yes.
to the compound, don't ever take an invitation to a remote location from a weirdo in an A24 movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a red flag, right? So we get the people out there, and it's not because the story's telling you, unfortunately. It's because we already know that there's something weird going to happen. We don't know what it is. It's A24. It could be anything from aliens to Satan to cult to whatever, right? It could be anything. Demon dolls. So what we find out is this guy, John Malkovich, has made new music, which arguably, because we get a little bit of it, is fine, right? It's fine.
It's unlike music you really listen to. It's like different.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting, yeah.
I assume we'll be getting the soundtrack, and so we'll listen to it. But,
yes.
So you've got that is one thing. Then you're meeting the people that he knows, this 7 or 8 people. One guy he didn't like very much. One photographer lady who's a paparazzi, who's a little bit unlikable. Juliette Lewis, who is, I'm assuming, just some...
like Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah, back in the day, might have been somebody who he didn't like the way she... like, maybe she was a fangirl, or you know what I mean, back in the day? I don't know. And then we have our leading lady, who is just a young lady who works at a magazine, and she's a journalist, and for some reason her boss acts like she's nothing, like she takes notes, and he's not going to let her write the stories, and she's also invited, so we have no tie. We don't know why she's invited.
We do not.
We don't have any idea. My first thought was, are we going to find out she's the daughter, and there's some weird thing that he has to pass down to her to be the next, I don't know. I was making up shit in my head. So we get them all out there, and of course it's a compound with locked gates and people all dressed in blue jeans and blue outfits, everyone.
And just weird stuff.
And you said it reminds you of Midsommar. So if anyone has seen Midsommar.
On that point, can I say that when I said I liked the build-up and then I didn't really like the payoff, I felt like the payoff felt like A24's greatest hits.
Oh, okay.
It's like, here's a bit from that, here's a bit from that, slap it all together, and here's... like kind of a mediocre ending.
Right, because what you're really... I mean, it is a cult, and we get established that it's a religion that's called Level. And the weirdness is, there are children there, and it's sort of hippy-dippy, we're going to say, and people will know what I mean by that. It's not an insult. It's like artsy-fartsy, right?
Yes.
People are learning archery and painting, and it looks like music class and all kinds of stuff, but everyone's just a little bit weird. And as we go through it, the explanation is, he leads these people because they don't think the world is being run correctly anymore. And they want to run it differently. And then it just falls apart.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And then you're like, and so what's your fucking goal? Because we end up with lots of blood and killing.
Is
and
your goal to just
violent weirdness?
Get to a point where we can be a horror movie or something?
See, I'm just throwing this out there that, also there's people dying. There's a girl who gets poisoned somehow and she gets all gross and weird. And there's people getting stabbed. A guy gets his head chopped off and mounted on a wall. I mean, we're throwing everything at it. You're right.
Yeah.
And so then when the objective is to plant these people all over the world, like sleeper agents, right? To do what?
Yeah, he doesn't really...
There is no payoff there at all. It's just the idea that the brawn, because he says we no longer want this, and he points at his muscles to run the world, and we don't want this, and he points at the left side of his head, which is, if you're artsy-fartsy like me, and I went to art school in college, and you learn drawing on the right side of the brain, which is, people have figured out somehow that the creativeness is unlocked on the right side of your brain. He then points at the right side of his head and says, this is what we need to run the world with. And then that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't really...
So I don't disagree with you, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's well made.
Because
it's well
she's
shot.
amazing. She's my favorite thing.
Yeah, people are really good in it.
Absolutely.
It's well shot. It's interesting. But then I was a bit disappointed when it just turned into a room full of people getting killed and just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very unceremonious.
I was like, so we're just going to do that, and that's the ending, and pretty much, yeah, that's what they're going to do. And they're going to have a bit of an epilogue on the end that is just nothing. I feel like they're also trying to be a bit like Get Out or something like that with that ending with the book. This girl writes a book.
It's not really like Get Out. It's just about
some twisty thing.
It's twisting it around to where this young woman who's basically the victim, the only one who survives, he survives, goes to prison, spoiler alert, and then she is a writer. So she's written a book about it. She's profiting from it, of course. And essentially, that was the plan all along, right? That she is their way of spreading the word. And he had to capture her there.
I was just hoping it was going to be clever, because I didn't know where it was going.
Here's something that maybe is not clever, but it wouldn't be much of a story, that he contacts only her, and the whole world's like, why did he invite just her? She goes out there, she asks him the questions, he tells her all about this religion, she writes a book, and it still works the same way. He didn't have to murder like a bunch of people.
I mean,
I've rewritten it for
the
them.
murdering the people doesn't really make sense when you think about it. Like, what's the point?
It doesn't, except what we find out in the whole, you have to have another layer here. He's an egomaniac. And so he likes attention. He's very theatrical,
Outlandish.
dramatic, outlandish. He's a little Zoolander-ish, and each of the other people have done something to annoy him. So the one guy embarrassed him. Like I said, the photographer lady probably took pictures of him that were unflattering. Because in the end, he says to her that he picked her. He researched and found her in the whole of all the people. Because she wrote one line about a lady once saying a nice thing about her double chin, basically, but putting it in a nice way. And he said, I wanted to be sure that my chin was in good hands. That is the ego maniac of him, right? So that's his layer of weirdness. Does he want to run the world? I don't know. He doesn't say.
He doesn't really say much. He plays some of his songs and he acts weird.
Yeah, because all he has to do is put out his album and he's going to get equal amount of followers. He didn't need to murder people. People are weird enough, right? There are enough people who will.
The murdering people actually kind of ruined his plan. Even though his plan is like...
it sensationalized, and then her writing about it made it more of a big deal, I guess, right? But still, again, he was so famous, and all that he had to do was have somebody write his book for him, and then that's that. So it's a bit of a quandary.
And it feels like a ton of other movies. Blink Twice, I would put in there. I would put The Menu in there.
Definitely The Menu.
I would put Midsommar in there. And there are others.
There are.
It's that thing. The people go to a place and then
even
it's
like
fucked up.
Glass Onion.
Yeah,
Knives that's not
100%.
about, you know what I mean? An ensemble of people for specific reasons come to a place
Glass Onion. They're all invited to the place.
For a weird thing to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's that kind of movie. It's trying to be cleverer. And then when you try and go, okay, let me pick that apart. And you start looking into it. There's actually not really anything there.
Other than them murdering those 7 or 8 people, which is awful, don't get me wrong, I'm not justifying that. But other than that, there's no reason to be afraid of them.
No.
Because we don't know what they're doing. Maybe that's what you're supposed to be afraid of. Like, you don't know, are they going to run the world by teaching people to paint?
She asked him point blank, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are we doing?
And then he's like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, Christians go to church and, Jewish people do this, and religions are usually doing something. So what are you doing?
Right. And then he shows her that people go in a yurt and they shuck oysters to find pearls. Now, we see in the end, the lady interviewing her has some natural pearls on her little necklace, meaning she's one of them, right?
Yes.
If we're honest, if you do try to understand a cult of behaviors and ideas that try to run the world, they don't make a lot of sense. No. But at least they have a platform to stand on, like where you can get it. Maybe that's why they're scary, because you don't know what the hell they're up to.
And you don't. As soon as the bus arrives, I felt more scared at that point than I did later on, because I was like, okay, what is this exactly? Also, let me ask you a question.
Go for it.
So he kind of controls the people who come, makes them do certain things. And one of the things is to shave off the pubic hair.
Yeah, that was weird.
Is that just to be weird?
Can you figure it out?
Yeah, because I was like, is there a reason for this? Are they going to do something weird to them? Or...
And we have no explanation ever. It's just that everyone...
This lady comes to her and says, we're going to, shave down there. And she's like, why? Is somebody going to look at that? Or?
And she's like, no.
No, of course not.
I think what it is, and what he's pegged about the other people, not her, but the other 7 people, 5, 6, 7 people, I forget how many. That's how impressionable they felt. The only thing is that he knows, he's very aware that he's the bait, and that these people are so also egomaniacs that they feel so privileged that he's invited them here, and it makes them more important to be close to. And he refers to himself, the name of his album is Caesar's Request. Mm-hmm. And then he refers to the story about how important Caesar was, and then royalty and royalty again. And he kind of makes a show of being the star of the show, right? So I think that he thinks these people are sucking off of me.
Right.
They have such a weird ego that they want me to make them more famous, and he doesn't like that.
He says something about like we owe something, and maybe like entertainment and things like that. When we do it good, it actually pays off some of our debt. And then he says, hopefully my album pays off a little of the debt.
Yeah, so, I didn't quite get that either.
Yeah, I was like, does he think there's a higher power that we're supposed to serve by giving them stuff? Like the Greek gods or something, you know?
And it's entertainment that he refers to. Yeah. Entertainment, music, art. Because he says like, Tina Turner's one of the people that most moves the needle.
They chisel away at the debt that we owe.
So if we think about it more and more, we can piece together.
But it seems like a mishmash of everything.
It does.
Like throw the kitchen sink at the wall and all of those things.
But it has such potential.
It did, and it's not bad. It's just, we also watched an A24 movie recently called Heretic, which also had a fantastic build-up, but I thought like a bad payoff.
Where you're just like...
Where you're like, oh, I love this until 3/4 of the way through.
Yes, it was so good.
When I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work, that end part. And I feel like this is identical to that. It just has such a really like, God, this is fun. It's even funny and satirical and the whole thing.
Funny and weird, yes.
There's just funny performances in it. But then when you get down to it, it's just people being in one room and lots of weird murdering happening. That's what you've come for, to be in this room with a beanbag and beanbags and murder.
And for no...
That's your admission,
and
right?
We don't get an explanation for each person. Like, he doesn't even do an oration about, like, and once in 1987, you took a picture of me that was unflattering, stab, stab, stab. And once when you were a groupie and you told people that I had a funny shaped penis, stab, stab, stab.
Maybe like, that's too on the nose, though, maybe.
At least it would be something.
There was a weird puppet show.
There was who was Billy?
Billie Holiday, the musician. Yeah. That's what it said in the credits at the end, I noticed.
Oh.
Billie Holiday something.
So he saw her as one of the
like
revered people. Who
is, exceptional.
Right, okay.
But yeah, it was a weird, and it almost looked like the characters in that puppet show were made out of human flesh or something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was very weird. Also, what the fuck is this? Is this just another weird thing you're putting in there?
Yes, exactly.
There's a lot of times where I stopped, looked at the screen and went...
And the most weirdness is he had children doing it.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't doing anything. They weren't in the thing. It was just these weird rat.
I wonder if this guy is a big fan of Midsommar.
Okay.
And the shaving of the pubes is just like a funny nod to that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he seems like he's a fan. It seems like this was a fan of that type of movie, tried to make their version of that type of movie.
And if you haven't seen Midsommar, you will be looking out for the pubic hairs.
And what's different about this movie compared to all those is this one has the pop star part to it, right?
Well, he's just a carrier of the idea. Right?
Yeah,
he's not the one they're worshiping. He's just taken on this cult-like idea, and now because he's famous, he can spread it. It's like, it is what it is, but Tom Cruise being a Scientologist, right?
Yes.
Before
like
Tom
he's a
Cruise,
vessel to deliver it,
and there are other famous people who are, but until Tom Cruise was one of them, you didn't really hear a lot about it, and it wasn't like a thing. But once you get that little golden boy at the top of your pyramid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got this. So he's not the religion.
No, in fact, she says to him, and he says, no. This has been here long before me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a thing that already exists.
So you're right. Maybe he's talking about some sort of weird cosmic gods of some kind.
I wish he was, and we saw something like that.
That was the
because it is just like vague and like... Mm-hmm.
It is.
But there again, Scientology, it's vague as fuck.
True.
If you look into that, you're like, what the fuck are these people... there's words on pages, but it doesn't mean you have to believe all that shit. I would apply that to any religion, personally, but...
I know you do.
Great first 45 minutes. After that, it kind of lost me a little bit.
Aw.
It didn't lose me as in I was not bothered about watching it, because I was entertained. I was just hoping it had more in store for us.
Because she's so good.
She really is. Let's get on to the cast. Io Adibri, that's what she's called. She plays Ariel in this movie. She's the star of the movie, basically, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, she's up against a lot of other people, but she's the focal point of the movie. She's excellent. I don't feel like I've seen her before.
I thought I had, but you read off her list. And I hadn't.
She's in the TV show The Bear, which I haven't seen yet. I do have The Bear because I knew I would like it. I was just waiting for it all to end so you could just watch it all at once, you know? It's a chef show. Do you know that?
I have heard of it, yes.
Yeah. Won tons of Emmys. She's a big part of it. She's excellent in this. I like her inquisitive nature. I like the way she plays against John Malkovich.
Yeah, she's unaffected by his fame. She's just really curious.
Yeah. When she sits down, and he even admires it, you can see it in him, that she just sits down near him and just asks him whatever she feels like. And he's kind of like, oh, not everybody's like this with me. I kind of like it. Because he says to her, doesn't he, carry on. She's like, oh, no. You know, when she starts asking him stuff, just straight up, like, what is this? Why have you got that thing over there?
Yeah.
Who are these people? Why is somebody following me around all the time?
Yeah, no kidding. That was creepy.
Oh, they have in the resort type place, they have a concierge, a personal one. And that person does whatever you do.
Follows you around.
So if you go for a jog, that person jogs behind you. It's very strange. Privacy invasion.
No kidding.
Also, there's cameras in everybody's rooms and the toilets and everywhere.
We didn't really do much with that, which I felt like, what's the point? We're not even seeing him watch them.
No.
Or it's just
There's a moment in the movie where the camera pulls back and you realize everybody's being watched. And I feel like that was supposed to be a big thing, but it wasn't. I was like, no. I've seen this in every movie. I don't care about this.
It was in like Sliver, and I was...
Of course everybody's being watched. It's a weird-ass place, right? Of course. Even the characters were aware, because she's like, yeah, we're probably even being watched in this room.
And she's right.
Yeah. We've got John Malkovich as Alfred Moriarty. What would you compare him to, like David Bowie or somebody? Or is it a bit too... Is he like Lady Gaga crossed with David Bowie, or...
Maybe, but I think also you said like a Prince character type of person, even Madonna. I mean, a person who has the imagination of the whole world.
Yes.
And everyone's waiting for his next thing. Like everyone in the world, we were establishing that he's like, because we even see little scenes of people listening to his music everywhere. Although it's like
his old music, yeah.
It's like an Armageddon moment. You know, the beginning of Armageddon when they show you little vignettes of people all over the world just living their life, and then you see the shit hitting them and killing them all. That's what they did here. It was like little, somebody's in the desert, somebody's on a doorstep, somebody's in a store, and they're all singing his music.
Lenny Kravitz is in a car.
Was that Lenny Kravitz?
It was Lenny Kravitz, yes.
So everyone is listening to his music. So it's a combination of all those, you know, you've got Cher, you've got Tina Turner, you've got all the people who are like, I think it's that.
Yes.
He's that all.
It's like, the whole world loves him. He's not nothing. He went away for 30 years and here he is, he's back. So, of course, he's, you know, if Madonna said she was making a new album tomorrow, people would prick up their ears as well, wouldn't they? That kind of thing.
Hasn't she?
I mean, she has, but when she doesn't all the time, does she, you know?
Well, if I get an invitation to a weird compound to go listen to a Madonna album, I won't be going.
We've got Juliette Lewis as Clara Armstrong.
Always good.
We last saw her in Yellow Jackets. I would say that this character is a similar kind of comedy-ish level, like the Yellow Jackets character.
She wasn't funny. She was just depressed and suicidal.
But she had this kind of wackiness also to her.
Oh, she was just kind of like, fuck everything attitude, and like really emotionally devastated.
In this movie, she's kind of funny in parts.
I got you.
But I guess because she's from the entertainment world, you know?
Right.
But she's good. Murray Bartlett plays Stan Sullivan. He's the guy with the bow and arrow guy, let's call him.
Okay.
What do you think of him?
I mean, not much. It seemed like kind of nothing.
He kind of fit as one of these weird, pretentious
he's
people.
The editor of the magazine that our leading lady works for, and he's just kind of a dick, and he's really not got much of a personality.
But he fits into this bunch of people who are...
He doesn't, though, because he's not got anything dynamic. We have no explanation. Again, we don't know Did he write a bad piece about our guy a long time ago? Did they cross paths and he pissed him off? We have no clue other than he's the editor of the magazine where our leading lady worked.
Yeah.
Which might mean that, I don't know, you gotta...
And talking of those concierge people, Amber Midthunder, she plays Belle. She barely speaks in the movie.
Oh, she doesn't at all.
And she says a word near the end. I can't remember what she said. She shouts something. One time. But mostly she's just a silent... She's almost like a Bond villain.
Kind of, yes.
She's just like...
Absolutely.
If she was going to pursue you, she would just keep coming. Like, she seemed like the Terminator. I like her. I really like her. But yeah, she doesn't speak. But you do see her a lot. This is directed by Mark Anthony Green. It's his first movie. What do you think of this directing? I think it was good, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those, there's nothing standy-outy stylistically.
Slick, though.
It's kind of slick, but it's also quite functional and modern. Just, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of there's no big shaky cam moments or interesting camera.
There's one cool drone shot where the bus turns the corner.
Was that cool? It looked really fake to me, so I didn't love that.
Right.
It looked like CGI.
I think it was just a droney thing.
I don't know. The bus didn't look right. I feel like it was somebody put that into AI. Put a bus driving into a map or whatever. AI, I put in quotation marks because I don't think it's AI. You all can argue with me about it.
Well, it fooled me.
Well, there you go.
I just thought it was a cool looking shot. But it was like, then they never do a shot like that again.
Yeah.
In the whole movie.
So it's very, it does what it needs to do.
I do like the image.
I did like the part where he's singing the song to them. I like that.
And it was just outrageously weird too. Like,
yeah.
It's strange watching John Malkovich do these like pop dance moves. And, he's lip syncing to this song and it's just, and the outfit he's wearing, what the hell? It's like an MC Hammer outfit almost, but like futuristic. Very strange. I also like the image of a body coming out of a beanbag.
Oh God, that was so weird.
Yeah, that was weird enough for me to go, yeah, I like that. IMDb reviews, what are those?
Those are reviews you find on a website called IMDb, and they have 1 star, 1 out of 5 or 10, I never remember. And you like to make fun of the ones that you disagree with.
Yes, it's out of 10 actually.
10, okay.
So let's give you the 1 star. Oh, guess what? This movie has no 1 star reviews.
Okay.
0.
Rigged.
All right. But there are some 2 star reviews.
But there are going to be people who hate this movie. There have to be.
Well, we've got a couple of 2 star ones. There's just 2, so I'll give you them. Are you ready?
Aye. I'm ready.
Bad all around. Nobody has a good script to work with. If there was a director, they needed to do something better than this, especially in the jail cell when their faces get all crazy.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
Crazy jail cell faces.
I think the interview with him at the end in the jail. I don't know what they mean.
No.
If the plan was to rule the world by using the right side of the brain, why didn't they do that then? Idiots.
Hey, I can't argue with that one.
And the second one says, extremely bland and boring. It almost feels like the script was rushed or unfinished or something. Most of the characters seem like they were just thrown out at the last minute. Malkovich was all right, and he was the highlight of the movie. But Ayo, who's the main lady, gave an extremely bad performance. I haven't seen her in anything else. I didn't know what to expect, but she was atrocious. I'd skip this one.
Oh my.
I would say that she's the best part.
She's the best part. They are wrong.
I do think Malkovich is fun as well because Malkovich doesn't give a fuck. He just goes... If they tell him to go crazy, he goes crazy. That's what he's famous for doing. So, and he does that here. So those are the 2 star reviews.
He doesn't really go crazy. He's very calm.
I mean, just like outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's outrageous. His clothes are outrageous. Just everything about him is like, okay. We've seen that before from him, though. It's not like a surprise. When you see John Malkovich do something weird, you're not like, oh God, he's never done anything weird before. Because he always does something weird. All right, so we have got some scores for you. Let's give this... We didn't watch any extras because we watched the streaming version. But let's give this movie a score. I'm going to give Opus a 5 out of 10.
5. Okay. I'm going to give it at least a 6.7.
I just feel like it's right in the middle. It had elements I liked and a ton of elements I didn't. So,
Gotcha.
as I said earlier, I want an A24 t-shirt. I love A24, but if it doesn't work for me, I'm still going to say that. I'm not going to go, oh, well, I love everything they do. I'm a mindless sheep, you know? So thank you to A24. Next week, we're looking at the movie The Monkey. You know it? It's based on a Stephen King novel. A short story. The Monkey.
Okay.
You know it?
I don't.
Well,
you said, do I know it? I don't.
You went,
No, I don't.
Well, horror is on the menu, let's say.
Okay.
Movie recommendations, I'm giving you 2 that I've already mentioned. Midsommar and The Menu. I think The Menu does this movie better than this movie. The Menu is a very good version of this scenario.
Yeah, but it has flaws as well. It gets to the point of being ridiculousness, and you have to admit that because it is.
I did prefer it, even the ending of it worked for me on that one. It ramps up its weirdness very slowly, The Menu, because it's each course of the meal is something different. And its weirdness only starts to come, like, right towards the end, it gets very weird. So it was rightly paced. Whereas this one, it basically did a load of stuff, and then there's this room, and then everything happens, like all at once. It's just, you know, it didn't feel pieced out properly or paced properly.
Peace out. Peace out.
Which are yours?
Mine are going back to the beginning of time of movie making, that is. And I'm up to the 1980s in horror. And I'm up to that era of our life when horror became an interesting slasher, you know, it evolved at this time. So we have An American Werewolf in London, 1980, one of your very, very favorites. Friday the 13th, also 1980. Creepshow, 1982. Faces of Death 2, 1981. And Halloween 2, 1981. So the 80s was also a time of sequels. Everything from Halloween, Faces of Death, obviously. Creepshow's going to have them. Friday the 13th had them. American Werewolf in London had. Everybody did sequels.
Correct.
So I'm telling you my list so that you can watch them all and be just like me. This isn't a level of quality I'm sharing with you. It's just a list of all the movies I've ever seen, slowly and methodically.
All right. I have been playing Scully stuff, playing a game this week. It's called Wildkeepers Rising. You haven't seen this, Sid Talk, so I'll leave you out of the conversation.
Oh, thanks.
So I'll tell you what Steam has to say about this game, and then I'll explain what I've played. They say, tame monsters, slay waves of enemy hordes, explore fantasy lands. Wildkeepers Rising is a whimsical action RPG roguelike set in a beautiful hand-drawn world that combines the power curve of bullet heaven games with the compulsive fun of a creature collector. So while that might just sound like a load of mumbo-jumbo,
it does.
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
That sounds like a lot.
So it's a hand-drawn 2D game. And what it mixes is survival shooter, the type that I have mentioned loads of times on this show, where you have to just survive. You're a man in an arena, things come at you, and you level up as you go along. It combines that with the collecting of monsters, which is in something like Pokemon.
Okay.
And it's all hand-drawn, beautiful to look at. And it's good for playing in small doses, I say, these kind of games. Because each level, it's like an RPG, really, this one. It's got a story and everything. What it boils down to gameplay-wise is you're going out from this town, which is like your home base, and you'll have one objective that you have to do. So you'll go out, and the objective might be survive on this map for 15 minutes, something as simple as that. So you'll stand in the middle of the map, monsters start coming, and as you level up and get more powerful, more monsters come, and you have to try and survive for the 15 minutes. And when you do, you get a load of loot, you go back to your town, you improve your character, and it's that kind of gameplay loop. If you like that kind of thing, which is very addictive, I must say, because there's always something a little bit better. You know, the next run you do, you'll get a better sword, that kind of thing. So if you like that kind of gameplay, it's right up your street. But what's different about this one is it's set within an RPG. So it's not just most of these games are just, here's a thing, do it, and get an achievement or whatever. This one's, you're further in a story. So it's all 2D, hand-drawn, and it looks like a particular thing, like an anime that I've seen, but I can't, do you know what I'm talking about? It's got like a particular art style. Well, you haven't seen it.
I'm sorry. You told me to stay out of the conversation.
Yeah.
And as always, I am super obedient, or maybe I'm playing City Skylines and I wasn't listening.
It's got a particular art style to it, and it reminds me of a particular anime that I've seen, and I'm not an anime fan, but it's very, it'll scratch that itch. It's kind of like Pokemon. It's kind of like Dragon Quest. It's called Wildkeepers Rising, and at the moment on Steam, it's on sale. It's $8.99, which is pretty reasonable.
That's pretty good. But
when it goes back up to full price, which it does, it will do by the time you've listened to this, the full price is $9.99. No. So either way, it's kind of it's the kind of game that you'll play for months and months and months if you're really into it. So Wildkeepers Rising. The other thing I wanted to mention is this week, we watched a show on Netflix. It's a 4-part one-offer. You know, it's not like it's something that you have to watch 10 seasons of. It's just 4 episodes. It's called Adolescence. It's on Netflix. Stars Stephen Graham. We watched it all in 2 nights.
It's harrowing.
Isn't it one of the best things? People should see it, right? It's fucking
I don't
great.
know about that. It's not for everyone, but it is an examination of a very specific cultural, social phenomenon, maybe.
It's
I don't
also
know. I don't want to over-exaggerate it because I don't know.
I would say an examination also of fantastic acting.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Almost, you're like, holy shit, what are these people doing? The 3rd episode in particular, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The lady and the kid. Amazing.
There's a teenager in this who is absolutely rattled to your bones. He goes there.
It's harrowing, this thing.
We won't say anything about what it is.
It's sad. It's got every emotion in it. Did you cry watching it?
I did cry.
It hits you. It's hardcore.
Yeah.
So Adolescence, it's on Netflix. You can watch it all right now. Sito, what's for dinner?
I think we're going with Subway.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love Subway.
We're telling you what we eat because we're vegetarian and people think we're starving to death. We're not. But today we're particularly hungry, so we're going for the Subway.
And what's your advice? And let's get out of here.
It's not advice. It's observational. Of course. The continuation of our species, you know, because we're human, we're just creatures crawling around on this rock, is nature. So you do what you can to survive. You eat, you protect, you sleep, you shit, you eat whatever you can find that you don't die from, and then you reproduce. You find some other human to fertilize the egg and you make more. It's sort of instinctive and we understand it. We're smart enough to have figured it out. Fair enough. The continuation of humans is nature. It's built in. There will never come a time when all humans decide they don't want to have children. So the panic, we have a disgusting politician recently who's like, I want to have more babies in America. Ugh, makes me want to throw up. Not that I don't love babies, but I'm just saying that idea that women are baby factories is disgusting. I can take them or leave them. Women are babies.
Babies. I'm not a baby.
But the reality is this idea of having a legacy, right? I need to leave behind my legacy, my name, my property, my stuff. I want to be remembered. I want pictures of me, and then grandkids of grandkids of grandkids of grandkids of grandkids of grandkids will be knowing my name because I need to exist forever. That is an invention, right? Because life is long and hard and it sucks a lot of the time. And being alive isn't just surviving. It's the time between the eating and the shitting and the reproducing that you got to like also, because we've got a system now where we don't all have to go in the woods and find our food. Some people do, and maybe someday we will again, but we don't have to do that. So in the meantime, we make up shit. We invent ideas like, yes, I must have my name carried on from it. A name is bullshit. A name is an invention, right? Someone gave me my name before they ever knew me. My mother was going to name me Cinda Leah. My grandfather said he didn't like it, so she named me Cindy Lee. Like, she just randomly, and my mother never had a real explanation for our names. I have brother and sisters. It's just like, well, I like the way it sounded, or that was your grandma's middle name. It was just sort of like the label that you get from a person who doesn't even know you that lasts the whole of your life. And my last name comes from my father's side. That last name comes from however long ago. And then it got changed because whenever people came to America, they rewrote it a different way. I mean, to say that you want your name to carry on, it makes me tremble with like confusion, right?
Mhm.
I do not understand. And I just don't. It's a creation and invention. And if you want future generations to have a better life, fair enough. Instinct would tell you to work on things like making better food, making better shelter, making better roads, making better systems for humans to thrive and survive as best we can. That's the actual nature, right? That would be your focus, not like, I am so precious and important amongst the trillions of humans who will ever exist that I must impart my DNA for generations to come. I don't get it. That's it.
All right. Let me tell you now.
You tell me.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Well, I did tell you, we watched Amazing Race, and some guy did a couple things, and I said, never in our marriage will it be received well. If ever, and you won't, but if you ever did, say to me, you need to stop talking. That's not going to work out.
All right.
What was the other thing? It was like, he kept telling her to stop crying. This guy has a wife, and she was upset. Stop crying. You're giving me a headache. Fuck that. Oh, my God.
That guy.
That guy needs to go.
All right. ascully.com. That's the place you can go to get this podcast. Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. You can find us on there. I'm A Scully. She's Sid Talk. Sid Talk's probably not on Blue Sky, though.
I am not.
ascully.com, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube. You can find the podcast there and at many other places. Just search for After the Show Movie Podcast. You can email feedback to me, ascully@ascully.com. Don't email Sid Talk. She doesn't want your email. And stay classy, A24.
And I'm going to say think for yourselves, because if you're not doing it, someone's doing it for you.